open. I will call the meeting of the License Hearing and Public Safety Committee for January 15th in order. And the roll call, Chairman Zach Rust and Alderman Dan Peterson are excused and will not attend. And Razia Perella
here,
and Joe Heineman
here,
and Robert Lefebvre, the vice chair, is running the meeting. Okay, I'd like to everybody have the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Okay, I think we can go past number 4 here. Everybody knows everybody. And then I'd like to get a motion for approval of the minute.
move to approve.
second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, it passes. Okay, for number 6 here, RO number 91-24-25 by city clerk submitting various license applications, Class D reserve liquor license number 3696, Club Leon Bar and Grill LLC.
So staff is recommending granting the license with warnings. Originally, we had asked to hold the application, I believe, 2 LHPS meetings ago because we had wanted to call the owner or the founding member of the LLC and to ask him about why he had 3 OWIs on his record. Considering I couldn't find 2 of them on CCAP, and I could only find the 3rd. So we wanted to get some info about when those OWIs were. So the first one was in the late 90s. The second was in 2014. So the way the law worked at the time is that if you didn't get a second OWI within a certain number of years, the first one would go away. So technically the second one you would get would be your new first one. The law changed after that. So when Mr. Reynoso got his 3rd one in 2023, it added back both the one from 2014 and the one from the late 90s. So that is why it's considered an OWI 3rd this time. Those charges are still pending, so there's not been an outcome in that case. I can tell you that I got a copy of the criminal complaint in that case, and the BAC was preliminary breath test, which is what they do on scene normally. They do the breathalyzer with officers, was 0.08. And then when they did the blood test later, it was a 0.09. So it's really right at that limit.
What is the limit again? Sorry.
0.08 is the limit.
Oh, okay. So it's still pending, you said?
It's still pending. There's not been an outcome in that case yet. It's in Manitowoc County. It's not in Sheboygan County. Since it's the 3rd, it's not city, so I'm not responsible for it. Plus, it's not even in my jurisdiction. So if you have any other, so that's why we called him in, because we wanted to get some more answers about that. We did get some answers about that. We had a translator. It's possible that some of the issues with him not revealing those OWIs was because his first language is not English. So when we did talk to him at the staff meeting, we did have a translator over the phone who was able to translate for him. Do you have any other questions about that?
Sure, me. Should normally having driving, this type of violation does not preclude to receive a license of this.
Correct. Yep.
It does not.
It does not normally preclude. So there are specific things that we would say automatically preclude you from having a license, like an alcohol license. That's like operating and maintaining a drug house or delivering or possessing with intent to deliver like cocaine or heroin or drugs like that. So those are what we would say automatically prohibit. The state of Wisconsin does not allow you to discriminate based on conviction status for anything that is not related to the licensed activity. So we would sort of have to really think about whether an OWI is directly related to owning and operating a bar, which not necessarily, considering he's not driving around. That being said, his 3rd OWI is a little bit concerning relating to his use of alcohol. So considering that they all happened decades apart, and that the limit was at, or his BAC again was at the 0.09, right around that limit. That's why staff is recommending granting with warnings.
I just have a brief follow-up. So how do these warnings look like?
So we would just state that if you were to get any other, the letter would state, because you didn't reveal it, we would say on further applications or renewals for your application for your license, you would have to reveal that you had those OWIs. Second, it could say something like, if you get any other alcohol related offenses, we may bring your license to be revoked before the LHPS committee if staff believes that that is necessary.
So, and he is, and you are very pure in total understanding of what's going to happen with the, the cautionary.
We haven't stated that to him yet. Like I said before, there's potentially some translation issues, so it may be something that it gets given to his attorney if he has one, and it can translate it for him. But we didn't state these potential. It wouldn't be a license restriction. This is not what that would be. It would just be a warning on your application that this could happen.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. And our police department does not have a problem with.
No.
He's been operating for a number of years already, and basically he's in the, it's not something that they don't have problems with that establishment, and they were willing. They said that, yeah, we can give him a license. Now, as far as the reserve license goes, he gets a reserve license. He pays the money. If he sells the bar, does that other guy, the next owner, do they get the reserve license?
It depends on how it's sold. And I don't want to give potential legal advice to Mr. Reynoso if he were to sell it. I can answer that question outside of this.
Okay.
I would say.
Right. I'm just noodling it.
Potentially yes, and potentially no.
Because I thought once they had the reserve, he couldn't transfer that license to anybody else other than himself. That was my impression.
So the license is attached to an LLC.
Okay.
I can explain this more. I don't want to give
No.
potential advice to Mr. Reynoso.
No.
So
I was just
potentially, yeah.
Yes.
And in response to your earlier statement, as part of the staff committee meeting, Lieutenant Walsh is there. And I specifically asked him if he had any concerns about this establishment, and he stated no.
All right, then, is there any other discussion?
The reserve license is always for a fee, right?
Correct.
There are no reserve licenses that are not for a fee.
Correct. Yes. So any reserve license that someone is applying for, a Class B liquor reserve, that is going to have that $10,000 fee.
There are no Class B licenses that are not reserved.
No, so there's the Class B regular. Those are the ones that people come to the meetings for and ask to be able to apply for. Those ones are much cheaper, like $27. And then the reserve license is for those people that really want to open the bar and don't want to wait for that presentation. That's the $10,000.
Right. So then there is a Class B license that in theory you can get without a fee. With
the lower fee. Yes.
Right. How do you get that?
So those are very highly sought after by people in the community. So we would hold, I believe you weren't at the last presentation. There would be a presentation before the LHPS committee where bar owners or people who want to become bar owners would come before the committee, explain why they want the license, explain, financial circumstances, why they need it, et cetera, et cetera.
Whenever there is one available.
Correct.
That's what you're saying. And right now, obviously, there are none available.
No.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Well, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. The only concern I have is about these warnings. I just want to make sure that that they're well communicated, that there will be no possibility of misunderstanding in the future, that we are actually allowed to do that.
Yes.
Because at the same time, also I'm wondering, okay, so if having a DUI does not preclude a license, then why should, for example, another DUI, if that should happen in his life, then be a reason to rescind the license? I mean, I just want to make sure
Yeah.
that with my experience with warnings
Yeah.
so far, it's a difficult territory, and I want to make sure that
So,
we handle that.
I want to be clear of the distinction of warnings
Yeah.
and
Restriction.
restrictions on your license. The warning would just say, in the future, when you are reapplying, you must reveal your OWS.
Mhm.
That's a warning. That's what we require from everything that everybody must reveal on their application. Second, anyone could get another alcohol offense, and it's a potential that it could come for a revocation before the LHPS committee. Anyone could.
Mhm.
So we would just be reiterating that to Mr. Reynoso, clearly.
Right, so it's nothing different.
There's no restrictions. We
And
would
there is
not be
nothing
singling
different
out.
than
No,
any other license.
Right.
That's what I want to avoid, then there are.
I completely understand where you're coming
Yes,
from.
those
Correct,
conflicts.
yes.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair. This warning, and again, I understand why it's there, when he reapplies, okay, and you reapply for the reserve license
By June 30th.
by June 30th.
Yep.
Okay, so he does, and he actually follows through with everything, he writes everything down, has everything. Does the warning get lifted, or does the warning
No,
stay?
the warning will always stay.
It'll always stay.
It'll always stay. It'll just be on his record that he had received that warning. There's not a restriction in any way.
Gotcha. Okay, so there's no where he would come back to the committee and say, hey, how come you haven't listened to, I've had this license for 5 years, why haven't you lifted the warning?
No, it's not like that.
Gotcha, okay.
No.
All right, thank you. I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The chair votes aye and it passes. Okay, number 7, RO number 95-24-25 by the city clerk submitting a license application.
This is for a new tobacco and vape store. There was no problems with the application at all, so staff recommends granting the license.
Do we have any discussion on this? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion
Second?
I'll make the motion.
and second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor,
Aye.
chair votes aye, and it is passed. And that gets us to the end of our agenda. The next meeting date will be January 29th, 2025. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and second to adjourn. All those in favor,
Aye.
chair votes aye. We're adjourned.
Sweet.
Thank you.